Are you a creative entrepreneur looking for some no-nonsense, straight-talking, actionable advice? Well, if you are, you're in the right place. And today, the Creative Business TV show is talking about how you tell a kick-ass story about your brand. Welcome to the Creative Business TV show, helping you make a success of your creative business. I'm your host, Kylie Carlson, and it's time to kick off your heels, grab yourself a coffee and get ready to be inspired. So today's topic is all about storytelling. You know, stories have been told throughout the world for as long as anyone can remember. Children have been read stories at bedtime for centuries, and you know what? Most of us have all heard our parents tell us the story of how they met, how they got married and ended up having us. All of these stories create an emotion within us, and we relate to them and have an emotional connection. So stories allow us to make sense of all the jumble of ideas inside our head and create a visual interpretation in our mind. These mental pictures then stir an emotional response and trigger a memory of an event or something we've experienced. Here's a statistic for you. 70% of everything we learn is through stories. So this means stories are responsible for that all-important connection between the storyteller, otherwise known as you, the creative entrepreneur, and of course the listener, aka your client. Now, of course, you want your potential client to connect with you, and that is the power behind storytelling. So what is the link between storytelling and brands? Well, the strength of a brand is based on the stories people relate about their experiences, their assumptions and their judgments. So without realizing it, we're telling a story about our experiences with the brand nearly every day. How many times have you raved about something to friends and family? Maybe it was an experience you had at the supermarket or trying a new product for the first time. All of these experiences are touch points, and by us relaying the information, we're spreading the word about a product or service. Effectively, we're helping to promote a brand by telling the story of our experience with it. Why is it important for your business to tell a story? Trust. In one simple word, you want your client to trust you. But how do you build trust? By getting to know someone. How do you allow your client to get to know you? By telling them your story. It really is that simple. It doesn't end there though. So trust's going to win the mind of your client, but it's desire that's going to win the heart of your client. And you want your client to want you or the product or the service that you're selling. So your story has to create a real desire within them. You know, the brands that are the most desirable are the ones that appeal to all our senses and emotions. And some of the ones that do that really well are brands like Apple, Starbucks, Chanel, Nike, Disney. All of these brands, they tell a story that just draws you in and makes you want to buy their product and be a part of the experience that they've created. Who remembers the Old Spice adverts? The man your man could smell like. The brand was originally associated with old men, and they basically needed to make it more relatable to a younger generation. So what did they do? Tell a story. So the campaign featured a former NFL football player, and it was built on a universal truth. Women and men fantasize about each other. And basically that was the story it told. And who can forget the original 1996 Diet Coke break advert? Who didn't swoon over that gorgeous beefcake taking off his shirt at 11:30 a.m. to the sounds of Etta James? Again, it told a story, and a story that worked. So research shows that it isn't the tangible things such as physical goods that represent the biggest percentage of a company's value, but it's actually the intangibles like the perception of a brand and the story behind it. So what does that prove? Stories have equity. Don't be afraid to tell your story. It absolutely doesn't have to be huge, but more often than not, the story of our company is really nothing more than a couple of sentences or paragraphs. And for me, I like to think of my company's story being the same size as that blurb you find on the back of a book. It captures nearly an entire book in a couple of paragraphs. And, you know, it has that unenviable task of having to capture the imagination of whoever picks up the book enough to make them want to buy it. Well, that is exactly what you're doing when you create the story of your company. You need to make your client want to pick you up and buy you. When I bought my Tiffany sunglasses, I didn't buy them because I thought they were a superior product. I bought them because of the way I knew they were going to make me feel each time I put them on. They were part of the story I was telling about my life. In my mind, the Tiffany glasses put me into a world where all women are sophisticated and life is good. This was the story I wanted to present to the world about who I was. On whatever level, conscious or subconscious, we want to build faith and trust in ourselves, and brands help us to feel the way we want to feel. They support our personal story, and this is exactly what you need to do in your business. So now it's your turn. Can you give me an example of a brand experience you've had that has sparked an emotion within you, good or bad? Perhaps it's your own story you want to tell. I'd love to hear it. Whatever it is, don't forget to comment below and let's hear your experiences. So that's all I have for you today on the Creative Business TV show. And if you enjoyed it, please like it and comment and subscribe. And if you want to be even more connected, come to kyliecarlson.co and get on the mailing list, because you'll get lots of fabulous advice, ideas, tips and tricks that you can only get by subscribing. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you soon.